Hey guys, it's Yash again, and welcome back to my channel. Real estate forms and contracts. They can be dreadful and stress-inducing when you start looking for a house. And it's largely due to not knowing what they mean and how to navigate them. So I thought I'll make a quick video explaining the 5 key contracts you're most likely to encounter while buying a house in Ontario. So here goes. So starting with the first one, the information guide. It's essentially a 13-page document which explains your options while buying real estate. You can either choose to represent yourself or choose to hire a real estate agent while buying or selling a house. Now, it also gives you a breakdown of all the pros and cons based on the decision you make. So make sure to review this document before starting your search. Your realtor would talk about this document during your first consultation meeting, as the government has made it mandatory to provide and explain this document. I've attached the links to the information guide down below if you're thinking about buying a home anytime soon. And after you decided to hire a realtor, we move on to the next form, the Buyer's Representation Agreement, or Form 300. This is an agreement between you and the realtor. It gives the realtor the authority to act on your behalf and also to provide all the services which come along while purchasing a house. Here's a breakdown. The first section lists both sides. That's the realtor representing the brokerage and yourself. It also includes the type of house, location, and the length of the contract. The length is usually 3 to 6 months, but can vary depending on circumstances. Second are the pre-printed clauses. This will explain everything from definitions, commissions, type of representation, and much more. Your realtor will go through this form at the time of signing to explain what they mean. It's important that you review it once to give you an idea of what to expect. And third are the signature and acknowledgement section, which are pretty straightforward. This will mostly conclude the Form 300 or the Buyer's Representation Agreement, but it's usually accompanied with the next key form, which is Form 812, Working with the Realtor. Now, the Working with the Realtor form is a condensed version of the Buyer's Representation Agreement. It explains what we do, along with a few information which mirrors the information guide. Now, to give you an idea, these two forms, along with the information guide, are the first steps for you to hire your realtor. Speaking of which, if you're planning on buying or selling a house in the Ottawa region, then make sure to reach out on the links down below to book an appointment with me. Now, moving to the next step. Now that you've hired your realtor, found the perfect home, and have decided to go forward with the purchase, your realtor at this point will start drafting the next key document, which is the Agreement of Purchase and Sale, or the Form 100. And if you're buying a condominium, it's the Form 101. The Agreement of Purchase and Sale, or APS in short, will eventually become a binding contract to buy the house you're interested in. So let's take a look at the few key details to give you an idea of what to expect. Page 1 starts off with the buyers and sellers, along with the property in question. It also includes the purchase price and the deposit amount, which will go towards the house in the end. Third are the dates. Irrevocability would be the time you give the sellers to make a decision on your offer, and completion date is the date you would like to move in. Page 2 would be the chattels, fixtures, and rental items. This is where you decide what's to be included and excluded with the purchase price. Appliances are usually included along with the light fixtures, and for rentals, hot water tanks are most common in the APS. HST for the most part are included with the purchase price, except for new builds and certain other scenarios. Page 3 and 4 will mostly include all the pre-printed clauses. I recommend that you go through this with your realtor to understand your rights and responsibilities. And the title search date is the day when your lawyers will look into the property and make sure there are no hiccups. Moving on to page 5, we mostly have signatures and acknowledgements. Page 6, or Schedule A as we call it, is the most important page. This is where we draft all the conditions, from how balance of funds are to be paid, to finance, inspection, and even appraisal conditions. Conditions for the most part are between 5 to 7 business days, depending on how prepared you are before drafting the offer. Speaking of which, I've included the links in the description down below for the buyer's guide if you'd like to be better prepared when buying a house. Lastly, the APS is usually accompanied with the final form, which is the Confirmation of Cooperation, or Form 320. This form usually lists out who's representing whom in this transaction, along with the realtor's commission and who's to pay for it, and then accompanied by the signatures and acknowledgements in the end. Well, there you go. These are the 5 key documents you would encounter when buying a house in Ontario. I hope this video helped, and if it did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next one.